Okie dokie. Well, last review I talked about The Exorcist II: The Heretic and how it basically kind of destroyed the film series of The Exorcist. So today I'm going to talk about the sequel, The Exorcist III, which is a much better horror film by comparison. And what? Why are you doing this? What? Hold on a second. God. What? What do you want, man?
It's like, you're not doing it in this film.
What do you mean I'm not doing this movie?
You can't do this movie, man. You can't do it. Here, do this one.
Are you kidding me? You want me to do this film?
Just shut up and do it. Go. Do this film.
I am going to kick your ass for this. Oh, man. Okay, so apparently my friend in the back did not want me to do The Exorcist 3 because I didn't feel like I need to riff it. So I'm going to do Predator 2, the sequel to the original 1987 film The Predator starring Schwarzenegger, but in this film's case, it's Danny Glover. I'm going to kick your ass for this. You get that middle finger away because I'm going to fuck you up after this review. Sorry, my roommate's kind of being a dick at the moment. So, how do I start off with this film exactly? Because I wanted to do The Exorcist 3, but now I'm doing Predator 2. Well, I'm going to be honest, I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. Yeah, it's like, I love it, I hate it, I love it, I hate it, I love it, I hate it. Well, I think it has something to do maybe the timing of when this movie came out exactly. Because this movie actually came out around the same time Terminator 2 came out, in a sense. And this movie was trying to be like a sci-fi horror film, but there was a lot of action elements into it, though, that kind of like disoriented the movie a little bit. So it's like, okay, it's action, sci-fi, horror, action, sci-fi, horror, action! Make up your fucking mind! Okay, I'll be honest, the first Predator movie is amazing. It is just a really good movie. It's a war film, but then it's a war film that tricks you, in a sense. It goes from war to a sci-fi slasher horror film that starts as a war film. Very clever, Predator. Very clever. Yeah. Yeah, so this movie is basically a mix between action, horror, and sci-fi. And there's a lot of action scenes in it and a bunch of rushed action elements into it, though. Like, how rushed is it exactly? Well, believe it or not, there's actually a sex scene between the Colombian drug lord and his girlfriend. In one of the penthouse scenes, we actually get to see the sex scene for like a couple of seconds, and out of nowhere, we get Jamaican voodoo posse members coming running, guns blazing, and then about to torture and murder this guy, in a sense. I was like, really? It just came up out of nowhere. Then it's going to be a supposed, like a voodoo horror scene, in a sense. But out of nowhere, they're actually about to cut the guy's heart out, and then we hear in the background, what is that exactly? Wait, why are these 3 red dots on me? Oh shit! Boom! Guy's chest explodes. Yeah, so the Predator crashes the party and just fucking murders everybody in the penthouse. Slice and dice, baby. Slice and dice. And to be fair, I actually felt bad for the Colombian drug lord's girlfriend because not only was she interrupted having sex with her boyfriend, but it would have been possible she would have been gang raped by the voodoo posse members, only to watch them all horribly get dismembered, sliced up, shot up, and then she sees the Predator there. He ignores her and he skins them all alive while she's watching them. So yeah, she's going to need a lot of therapy. Like, this is also nothing, too. I mean, in the beginning of the movie, we actually get introduced into a huge drug war between Colombians and the cops, in a sense. And it is just a batshit crazy fight. And they all just rush into this warehouse. They're all getting armed up, getting ready to kill and go out for round 2 with the cops. Exactly. And the main guy is, like, drugged up. He is sniffing a huge thing of cocaine. He's like, oh, yeah, get ready. The Scorpio, he's ready. And the Predator crashes the party. We don't get to see everything. We get to hear everything, in a sense. We see everything through the cop's perspective, where they're just running up the stairs. They're armed up. They're about to bust in. Everything. And the only thing we hear is the gunshots from the Colombians, them screaming their lungs out because they're dying and getting ripped apart. And we hear the plasma caster going off several times. So, anyway, the Colombian guy, he just runs up to the roof. Mike Harrigan, who's being played by Danny Glover, who does a really fantastic job with the movie, I will say. He goes right up the stairs, goes right after the guy, and he sees the guy right there. He's telling him to drop his guns. Without even realizing it, though, the guy's coked up. He's scared shitless because he just saw all of his buddies get murdered by the Predator. And here's something fun. So while Mike is right there, he's on the floor, he's about to shoot the guy, and not knowing, but the Predator comes up right behind him, in a sense, and the Colombian guy, he sees the Predator, he aims at the Predator and shoots him, but Mike just guns him down because he thought, okay, look at it this way, from perspective, from Mike Harrigan's side, I mean, okay, he's right down here, he sees the guy, he puts up his guns, in a sense. Now, as a cop, he has the right to defend himself, in a sense, so he does gun the guy down, in a sense, and here's something fun. Mike is actually afraid of heights, so he's a bit of he has vertigo tension and somewhat acrophobia, kind of like I do. I mean, I'm afraid of heights myself, but I have a certain limit to what heights I'm afraid of, in a sense. Like, okay, I can stand outside of a 3-story building, look out the side of the building, and be like, "Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, all right, cool." It's a 5-story building. Bit of a pushing in the limit, but I'm all cool down here. You guys want beer? Here you go. Sorry. Yeah, been in ultimate dick mode. But I never done that. Anyway, after Mike sees that he killed the guy, in a sense, like he dropped like 10 stories down the building. He's up like 5 stories. Like, I don't even know how tall the building was exactly. It could have been like a 5-story fall or something, but the guy was definitely dead. Anyway, he turns around and he sees the Predator was right there, but the thing is, the Predator's in camouflage for him, so he has no idea what's going on. Predator just leaves. All right, now, we know normally that the Predator does kill people when they're armed, in a sense, but technically, Mike was not exactly the Predator's target, and he could see, and keep this in mind, he's in LA during the hottest season of the year, and so maybe in Mike's head, he's probably just seeing things or something, that maybe it's the heat, because, well, if you've seen the Predator camouflaged, and on a hot day, it kind of looks like a mirage or something. So the Predator's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to bother. See ya. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I just jump back and forth between two segments of the movie. Then we get to see like other characters. Like we have Peter Keys, who's played by Gary Busey, and that sounds a little familiar in a sense. That's because his son Jake Busey also played the character's son in the 4th film, The Predator. Interesting trivia right there, in a sense. Bill Paxton's also in the movie too. And, oh my God! I just realized something. Bill Paxton was in this movie. He was also Hudson in Aliens, and he was also one of the first punks in The Terminator. He's been killed by the Predator, Xenomorphs, and a Terminator. All within a 10-year period. God rest your soul, Bill Paxton. God rest your soul. You got killed by 3 sci-fi all-stars. Congratulations. God rest his soul. Anyway, they go back and forth in a sense, like trying to figure out maybe it's a voodoo posse horror thing going on, because the Jamaican leader is also the next target on the Predator's hit list, in a sense. So Mike Harrigan, the voodoo guy, they go back and forth a little bit. And here's a fun fact: the Predator was actually following him the entire time. And Mike was not actually the target this time around. The Voodoo King was the target. So he goes there. So he goes down to meet the King after the meeting. The King, by the way, is called King Willie. And here's the thing: when it comes to the Jamaican Voodoo Posse, if you kill the head member, then the posse will disband because they know your magic is greater because you have taken their leader's power. That's how it works, in a sense. The Predator just kills him by ripping his fucking head off and taking his spinal column to go along with it. Yeah, a little overkill, but that's how the Predator works. He's a hunter. Big game. There's also a subway scene in this movie, too, where the Predator actually attacks people on the subway, but keep this in mind. There's a slight funny segment where these gang members are about to rob this one guy and they're armed to the teeth, but here's the funny part, in a sense. Bill Paxton and the female detective that's in this movie, who's Mike's girlfriend, All right, they were taking the subway to go meet up with Mike, but they follow this gang, and here's the funny part: everybody in the subway was armed to the teeth, and they all just point guns at it, at the gang members. Like, okay, okay. It's like, okay, we're bad, we're bad. We'll bring our guns away. Sorry. Anyway, anyway, Paxton and the girl, they tell everybody to just calm down, put your weapons away, sit down, put your weapons away. But that's when the Predator comes in and starts killing everybody. Yeah, so gang members, Bill Paxton, the cop, and a bunch of civilians. The police captain's like, why did this guy kill everybody? And Mike is like, they were all armed. No shit. Okay, there is also something else too. The Predator is also maybe a monster and a hunter, but it's also merciful. How? Because Mike's girlfriend was actually pregnant the whole time around. In a sense, she didn't even know about it. So the Predator actually grabs her, but he notices there was something wrong with her, so he examines her stomach and sees that she was pregnant, so he doesn't bother killing her. Nope, he just takes Bill Paxton's body, just drags it down the subway system, and rips the head off and just runs off. And Mike just chases him all over for blocks on end. They go into a warehouse where we get to see probably the best part of the movie, in a sense, where Peter Keese and the government guys are going to hunt down the Predator in camo suits inside of a warehouse. It's, my opinion, my favorite segment of the entire movie. It's a really atmospheric scene, in a sense. I mean, it's so quiet, eerie music. It's like, this is a tense moment, and they're hunting the hunter, in a sense. So here's the thing. They're in thermal suits, so it masses out their body heat. Very smart, because the Predator could also see in camouflage, see in infrared. Very smart, very smart. But here's something they didn't actually think about. The Predator is one of the best hunters, not because of the infrared. He also can hear. So when they were going up the stairs, the Predator actually heard the creaking noises. It's like, he's running down, he's about to go grab some meat because it's in the meat locker area. It's like, what was that? So the Predator goes off, he's in a ledge overlooking the entire warehouse. Now keep this in mind, the team is literally right below him in a sense, but he can't see shit because they sprayed the house with radioactive dust. So the dust adheres to his body, making him visible, and the suits they're wearing conceal body heat, so he can't see shit. But yet he can hear everything, so he knows there's something wrong. And here's something they didn't even think about. The Predator can switch his thermal vision to other forms of vision, from other forms of infrared vision to also ultraviolet light vision. So he switched his heat vision to a vision where he can actually see the lights. They have lights on their shoulders, and he can see the lights. And he can also see the radioactive dust too. So he was able to see the dust particles. So, and somehow he fucked with the radar system, and now he hunted them all down and killed every one of them. So they were trying to capture him? Nope, he fucked them up. Mike and the Predator, Mike goes into the warehouse fully armed to the teeth to battle the Predator, in a sense. And, well, they do have some of a bit of a gun duel thing going on here, but Mike knows the Predator wants to hunt him down. The Predator wants to hunt him down. So they're basically like two hunters going at each other. So it's kind of a really interesting story of how these two, we have the Predator, who's a hunter. We have Mike, the badass detective, who's also a hunter. Two hunters hunting each other. Really interesting concept. Yes, indeed. Now, with the action film concept, there's at least several one-liners in this movie. Mike has a bunch of one-liners. I'm pretty sure like Bill Paxton has a couple ones before he died. Gary Busey has a few one-liners too. Pretty much a lot of people have one-liners in this movie. The Predator actually has two one-liners, believe it or not. Actually, he's got a few, now that I think about it. Like, before he kills Bill Paxton on the subway, he recorded some kid in the cemetery saying, "Want some candy?" And he says, "Want some candy?" in the kid's voice in the subway system's like, well, I was kind of scared before because I could see you in camouflage form about to come and kill me, but you said, "Want some candy?" like a kid. Kind of threw away this terror factor there. Yep, sorry. Now, the most quotable line in this movie, in the whole film series, is "You're one ugly motherfucker." All right, it was said by Schwarzenegger in the first movie. It's awesome when he said it. In this movie, after Mike guns down the Predator with a shotgun, and the Predator somehow survives, like they do, he removes the mask, and he's about to say the one-liner, but he couldn't say it all the way through. He says, "You're one ugly mother." Before he can say the F part, in a sense, the Predator grabs him by the throat, brings it to his face, and he says, "Motherfucker," and flips him over. After that, he destroys the shotgun. He just grabs the shotgun, smashes it. No, seriously, I mean, he just grabbed the shotgun and just smashed it on the concrete floor, just destroying it. It's like, wow, that was a cheap gun. And the other one-liner is after Mike, he tackled. They're on top of a building in a sense. He tackles the fucker with the Predator's spear, and they both go over the building. But Mike landed on the edge, and the Predator is holding onto his arm and a smart disc, just hanging on the edge. And Mike just says, "All right, pussy face, it's your move." Predator says this. Shit happens. What does he do? He lets go of the smart disc and arms his bomb like an asshole. And now, if you've seen the first film, you know that the bomb was very powerful because it's like a small nuclear device. Mike miraculously grabs the smart disc, gets it out of the wall, and cuts off the Predator's arm, like right here, square, halfway through the forearm, just cuts it right off, destroying the bomb. And if you pause the video just right, you see the Predator's face reaction before he cuts his arm off. You see the Predator face like, I swear to God, I want to pause that, put that up as a wallpaper, go like, at that moment, he knew he was fucked. And he was. He fell like 10 stories, landed on a pipe that shot him over across the alleyway into an old couple's bathroom while they were watching Jeopardy. That's actually the most hilarious thing that's actually happened in this movie, to the Predator. So the Predator heals himself up, in a sense. Mike goes after him. He gets over his fear of heights. Well, tries to. Just can't blame him on that one, because he's afraid he's going to fall. So he's armed with the Predator's smart disc. He goes after the Predator. They go right down into the Predator ship. All right, and he sees the trophy case, in a sense. So his like the skull of his partner's hand, and he sees that there's a whole array of animals there. And wait, what's that? A xenomorph skull from Aliens. So if you're thinking what started the Alien vs. Predator franchise, it was this film. Yep, that means Predators and Xenomorphs are in the same universe. Alien film series and the Predator film series are in the same universe. So fuck you, Ridley Scott, for saying that they're not. They are. Don't fuck with the fans, man. Don't fuck with them. I mean, why do you think Alien Covenant and Prometheus, why do you think they got tons of bad reviews? Why? Because you pissed off the fan base. Don't do that. Yeah. So anyway, Mike and the Predator, they fight in the Predator ship. It's a grueling battle going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Mike gets injured, and the Predator's about to do the killing blow, but Mike tricked him, in a sense. And he takes the smart disc and jams it right into the torso, and just keeps going in and in and in. And the last one-liner he says is, "That's right, asshole. Shit happens." And, yeah, he basically kills the Predator. After he kills the Predator, all the Predators that were on the ship come in, and they don't attack him, in a sense. They just look at him, in a sense. While the main Predator, who's actually a Grand Elder Predator, by the way, which is where we get the Elder concept, he sees Mike, he's like, okay. He turns off the plasma caster, and everybody's like, they're just there looking at me. Mike just drops the disc, he's like, ding! Okay. Who's next? Who's next? Come on. Anybody else want to go? Here's a bit of a fun fact. The Predators that were actually in the film, they were all extras, in a sense. So the guys that were in the Predator costumes, they were actually the LA Lakers. Yeah, fun fact. The extras that were playing the Predators in this movie for that one scene were actually the LA Lakers at the time. That's pretty awesome. So the head Predator, actually, they all leave, in a sense. The head Predator gives Mike an old pistol, in a sense. It's actually Now there is a comic book that actually explains where that Predator actually gets the pistol from. That it was actually a gift from a colonial marine from like way back in the 1700s in a sense. So he gives Mike the marine gave the Predator the pistol. The Predator is giving Mike the pistol in a sense. So Mike actually gets an idea of how old that Predator is. He says, "Take it," and he just leaves. And the ship's about to take off. He runs out, and there you go. Anyway, the Predator, they leave. Mike gets picked up by the LAPD in a sense, but before he gets picked up, the feds come in. They try to ask what the hell happened. So the guy just looks at him and is like, "You know what? Never mind. We were so damn close." And he just gets on the copter and leaves. What does Mike do? He looks at the pistol, sees the LAPD are coming by to pick him up. He's like, "Don't worry, asshole. You'll get another chance." And that's the ending of the movie Predator 2. I will say I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. Like I said, it's an okay film, but honestly, yeah, it's not, like I said, it's okay in the sense of, and keep this in mind, this was the last time we saw the Predator film, the Predators on the big screen until Alien vs. Predator came out. And then Alien vs. Predator 2, then the Predators, and then the Predator, in a sense. Now, since 20th Century Fox got bought out by Disney, they wanted to actually reboot the Predator and Alien franchise, but thanks to this whole copyright thing in the jig, that actually reverts the copyrights to both these characters back to their original owners. Yeah, Disney's not doing it. Yeah, so the copyright owners are saying no. Why? Because, well, maybe because a lot of people said that Disney fucked up on the Marvel films. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just glad Disney's not going to do these movies in a sense. Supposedly they are going to make another Alien and Predator film in a sense, but they're going to do it their way, not the way Disney wants. So I recommend this film to anybody. Yeah, I recommend if you like Predator, you might like this movie in a sense. If you like Predators, you might like that movie. So, give this movie a watch. You may like it, and you may not like it. I give this movie a pass. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go beat the shit out of this motherfucker. So until then, take care.
Come here, you son of a bitch! I'm gonna kick your ass!